How to find your purpose when you feel lost? The answer is closer than you think. There is a particular kind of pain that doesn't have a name, but almost everyone has felt it. You're not in crisis. Nothing is catastrophically wrong. You have a life, maybe even a decent one. But you wake up in the morning and something is missing. A direction, a reason, a feeling that what you're doing actually matters. And the longer it goes on, the louder that quiet voice gets. The one that asks, is this really it? Is this all there is? If that's where you are right now, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different way of thinking about purpose. One that actually leads somewhere, instead of leaving you more confused than when you started. Here's the first thing that needs to be said, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. The reason most people never find their purpose is because they're looking for the wrong thing. They've been sold an idea by movies, by motivational content, by every follow your passion speech they've ever heard. That purpose is this singular, dramatic, lightning bolt revelation that one day it just arrives, fully formed, impossible to miss. And until it does, they wait, they search, they scroll. They try to feel their way to an answer that they believe should feel obvious. But that is not how purpose works. Purpose is not found, it is built. And the moment you understand that distinction, everything changes. Let's talk about why you feel lost in the first place. Because this isn't random and it isn't a character flaw. It's a signal. Feeling lost is what happens when the life you are living is no longer aligned with the person you are becoming. Think about that. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. Your values have shifted. Your understanding of yourself has deepened. The things that used to feel meaningful may have run their course. And when the outer life hasn't caught up with the inner evolution, when the job, the relationships, the daily routine were built for a version of you that no longer fully exists, you feel the gap. That gap is what we call being lost. But here's the reframe that changes everything. You are not lost because something is wrong with you. You are lost because you have outgrown something. And outgrowing things is not a problem. It is growth. The discomfort you feel is not emptiness. It is the pressure of a new version of yourself that is trying to emerge and hasn't found its form yet. That feeling is not your enemy. It is your compass, and you need to learn how to read it. Now, here is where most people go wrong. And stay with me because this next part is where the real answer lives. When people feel lost, they do one of two things. They either go completely inward, endlessly analyzing themselves, trying to think their way to clarity, journaling the same questions in circles without ever getting real answers. Or they go completely outward, consuming content, taking personality tests, asking everyone around them what they think, looking for someone else to hand them a purpose that only they can find. Neither works. Because purpose doesn't come from thinking about your life. It comes from living it, deliberately, curiously, and with your eyes open. The Stoics called this living according to nature. Not nature as in trees and rivers, but your nature. Your specific, individual, irreplaceable set of capacities, values, and inclinations. Marcus Aurelius returned to this idea again and again in his private journals. Not what does the world want from me, but what am I actually built for? What does my specific character, when fully expressed, contribute to the world around me? That question is the beginning of purpose. Not what is my passion, because passion is an emotion, and emotions fluctuate. But what am I built for? Because that is a question your life is already answering, whether you're paying attention or not. So how do you actually find it? Here is the framework. 3 questions that will do more for your sense of direction than any personality test ever will. The first question is, what problems do you find yourself unable to ignore? Not what you're good at, not what makes money. What injustice, what suffering, what gap in the world makes you feel something? Anger, grief, urgency, every time you encounter it. Purpose almost always lives at the intersection of your deepest pain and your strongest conviction. The things that broke you open are often the very things you're being called to address. Pay attention to what you cannot look away from. The second question is, when do you lose track of time? Not when do you feel productive? When do you disappear into something so completely that hours pass without you noticing? That state, what psychologists call flow, is your nervous system telling you that this activity is aligned with something deep in your wiring. It doesn't have to be your career immediately, but it is a breadcrumb. Follow it. The third question is, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail and nobody was watching? Strip away the fear of judgment. Strip away the need for it to be practical or impressive or explainable. What would you actually build? Who would you actually become? What would you actually spend your days doing? That answer, the one that comes before the but, is closer to your purpose than anything you'll find in a quiz or a book. Here is what I need you to understand about the journey from here. Purpose is not a destination you arrive at and then stop moving. It is a direction, an orientation, a way of engaging with your life that asks constantly, am I building something that matters to me? Am I becoming someone I respect? Am I using what I was given in a way that is worthy of the time I've been given to use it? You don't need to have it all figured out today. You don't need the full map. You need the next step. One honest answer to one of those three questions. One small movement in the direction that feels most true. Because purpose isn't waiting for you at some distant finish line. It's being built right now, in every choice you make, every value you act on, every moment you decide to live deliberately instead of by default. You are not lost. You are between versions of yourself. And the next one is already taking shape. Move toward it, subscribe, and stay with this series. Every episode is designed to help you navigate the real questions and build a life that actually means something.